Hey everyone, Andrew back again and welcome to another video, and for today's video I'm here with another movie update, plus I'm also going to be showing 3 movies that I got sent to me from a special YouTuber, Horror in Todge or Tony, but we'll save that to the end. So first of all we'll start with my own pickups. Okay, so first up we have Frog Dreaming, and quite possibly a lot of you overseas viewers may never have heard of this before. This one is kind of an underrated 80s family themed movie starring Henry Thomas, who obviously played Elliot from E.T. And this one is basically kind of in the same kind of vein as movies like The Goonies and E.T. and just a lot of other 80s family themed movies. Basically it centres around Henry Thomas's character, and he basically goes on a little bit of an adventure in the outback, and a lot of the movie revolves around Dreamtime stories, Aboriginal myths, legends, and Dreamtime stories. So I've only seen this movie once, and from what I can remember it was pretty good. So yeah, I would definitely recommend looking into it, checking it out if it sounds interesting to you. Next up we have Dark Ride, and I've only seen this movie once before, and it was many years ago, so I don't remember too much about it, other than I really liked the setting. This one is set in a theme park, and it stars Patrick Renner from The Big Green and The Sandlot. I'm definitely looking forward to rewatching this one though, because as I already said, I don't really remember too much about it apart from the setting. So we'll see how this goes, another slasher movie into the collection. Next up we have Shaun of the Dead. This is the 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray combo pack. This is an upgrade. I already own the movie on Blu-ray, but I definitely wanted to pick it up on 4K. One of the few horror comedies that I actually really like. I don't really need to talk too much about this one because I'm sure everyone has seen it already, and yeah, it's a great movie. So that's Shaun of the Dead. Next up we have April Fool's Day. This is a cinema cult or shock release, and I was really stoked that we actually finally got this on Blu-ray and in Australia as well, which is pretty cool because it's not too often that we get exclusive slasher movies from the 80s released over here on Blu-ray for the first time in the world, but it has happened with April Fool's Day. I believe there's going to be a future Scream Factory release for this one, but yeah, it's just pretty awesome that we are the first in the world to get April Fool's Day on Blu-ray. Great slasher movie. I really like this one a lot, always have. And yeah, I've been wanting this one to hit Blu-ray, and it finally has, so really happy about that. Next up we have the Child's Play remake, and I'm really looking forward to rewatching this one. I haven't done so yet, but I absolutely loved this one when I watched it in theatres. I don't really care what anyone says about this. I thought it was a really well done and a different take on the Child's Play franchise, especially the original movie. I really loved what they did with the whole AI aspect to the film. I thought the acting was really good. It did take a while for the new look of Chucky to grow on me, but I do quite like the new look. It's really creepy, and this one had some really good kills in it as well. So yeah, I thought it was fantastic in theatres, and I cannot wait to rewatch this one. So that's the Child's Play remake. Next up we have Necrotronic, and this one was a ton of fun. It's only just come out over here in Australia. It's an Australian kind of horror comedy, I guess you'd call it, with some sort of sci-fi and action elements thrown in for good measure. It's from the same directors that did Wormwood, and you can definitely tell because it's got a similar kind of vibe and style to Wormwood, kind of pretty out there and over the top. Obviously not a zombie film, but yeah, this one was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed this one a lot, so I definitely highly recommend it. Basically, this one is really well suited for today's culture. Basically, it's set around a small group of necromancers who are trying to defeat this demon who has basically taken control of the internet, and anyone that downloads this particular sort of demon hunter or ghost hunter game on their mobile phone gets infected. So very, very relevant to today's culture where we're all addicted to our phones. But yeah, this one was awesome. It blended horror, comedy, action, and some sci-fi elements in really, really well. And it had some really, really good gore effects in this one as well, and the demons looked pretty awesome. So yeah, just a ton of fun. That's Necrotronic, and I definitely highly recommend it. Next up, we have the Banana Splits movie, and I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this one because I've already reviewed it. So if you want my more in-depth and full thoughts on this one, check out my slashback review for the Banana Splits movie, uploaded a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, I absolutely loved this one. I thought it was an absolutely fantastic and awesome entry into the modern slasher genre. I really loved the idea of these children's television characters turning into psychotic killers. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. There were some pretty gory moments throughout this movie as well. And it was kind of mean-spirited in parts as well. It kind of went a few places that I wasn't expecting, especially for the overall theme of this film. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. If you're still yet to check this one out, I definitely highly recommend it. And I would rate it really, really highly. This is definitely one of my favourite modern slashers from the past couple of years for sure. So yeah, that's the Banana Splits movie. Okay, and to end up this update, I'm wanting to give a special shout out to Horror in Todge, or Tony. I'm sure most of you are subscribed to him already, but if not, I'll definitely leave his channel link in the description box below. So a while ago, I sent him a package of TCM, Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie editions, and in return he sent me a few Blu-rays that I was interested in. So Tony, thanks a lot, and I do apologise that I'm pretty late to uploading this video. The past week I've been feeling a little bit under the weather, so apologies for being a little bit slack. Plus I kind of wanted to watch them before I showed them in a video as well. So yeah, we'll get around to showing the 3 movies that Tony sent me right now. Okay, so the first movie that Tony sent me is Clash of the Titans. This is the 80s version, and this is the Premium Collection Blu-ray, DVD and digital copy release from the UK. This movie's awesome. I really, really enjoyed this one a lot. Obviously, it's got some classic Ray Harryhausen effects in it, and this is a great release. I definitely highly, highly recommend this edition. We never got a Blu-ray release of this film over here in Australia, which is kind of crazy. So I was holding out for an overseas Blu-ray release. And yeah, I'm really happy that Tony sent me this one. Really, really nice addition to a great movie. So I definitely highly recommend this UK Blu-ray if you don't already own the film. Next up we have Cruising, starring Al Pacino, not Al Capone, like I kept saying in my Slashback review. Like the Banana Splits, this is another one that I've already reviewed for Slashback Saturday. So if you're interested in more in-depth thoughts from me about this film, check that review out. But in short, I thought this was an absolutely fantastic movie. I really, really liked how kind of sleazy and seedy the setting was, and yeah, I just thought it was an absolutely fantastic kind of serial killer slasher film. Really, really good characters. I loved the setting. The New York City setting was fantastic in this one. I loved how there was a mixture of nighttime scenes and daytime scenes. They worked really, really well. But yeah, all in all, I thought this was a fantastic movie. There's not too many horror movies with gay themes running through them. This is one of the few that I know of at least, and yeah, this one was absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't seen this one, I definitely highly recommend it, and I really recommend this Arrow release. Fantastic edition. And last but certainly not least, we have The Transfiguration, and this is a movie that Tony actually recommended. I believe he reviewed this movie, or he talked about it in one of his previous videos anyway, and it sounded fantastic, and I've got to say I was not disappointed. I thought this movie was absolutely phenomenal. This one, it's kind of a mixture of Martin and Let the Right One In. So if you are a fan of those movies, especially Let the Right One In, it had a lot of similar vibes to that. I definitely highly recommend this one. I hardly hear anyone ever talk about it. In fact, I think Tony is the only person that I've ever seen talk about this movie. So obviously it's a take on the vampire genre, and this one is set in New York, I believe, and it's basically centered around a 14-year-old called Milo, and he has vampire tendencies, so he ends up killing and drinking people's blood, and he's just really, really fascinated with vampire lore, the mythology, and he ends up befriending another teenager that's recently moved into his housing area, and they basically fall in love. So absolutely phenomenal film. I thought it was exceptionally well done, especially for a low budget independent horror movie. It's kind of got a art house vibe to it, so Ben Cadaver Club, I think you'd really, really enjoy this one. But yeah, I just thought this was an absolutely fantastic take on the vampire genre, and I cannot recommend this one enough. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. I've actually watched this movie twice already within the same week. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal movie. Go out there and see the Transfiguration. Amazing. Okay, so there you go. That was my movie update. And again, Tony, Horror and Todge, thank you so much for sending me the movie package. I really, really appreciate it. And once again, apologies that it's taken me so long to upload a video. But yeah, guys, as I've already mentioned, if you're not already subscribed to Tony, he's a fantastic YouTuber, amazing collection, has a great taste in horror, and he's an awesome friend. So link is below. So if you're not subscribed to him already, please check him out. So once again, Tony, thank you for the 3 movies. I absolutely loved them, especially the Transfiguration. Wow, that movie was incredible. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think of the movies that I've added into the collection in the comments below. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.